Good evening, everyone. I think that's okay. There we go. Good evening, everyone. This is Wednesday night meditation, movement, and melt class with yours truly, Leslie, also known as Japa. It is 7 o'clock here in British Columbia, and this time of night we out here, especially in Vancouver and out here on the Sunshine Coast, we take a moment to thank all our frontline workers. So if you want to take a moment just to settle into the space together and just send some love out to all of our frontline workers at the hospital. I know I have a few dear friends that work at the hospital here on the Sunshine Coast, so definitely to them, to our grocery clerks who are working so hard to make sure that we have everything we need, and everybody else that is keeping us safe and super healthy. So I just want to take a moment to say thank you, because it's 7 o'clock and kind of live out in the boonies, so you can't really hear people, but if you were right in Gibsons or in the creek, you might be able to hear some howling and lots of noise, and especially in Vancouver for sure too. So we'll just take kind of even if it's like a couple sighs, just to make noise to add to that celebration of those beautiful, brave humans. If you want to make a little bit more noise than that, you are more than welcome to. Doing this, we us yogis that are offering this are bringing you into your home. If I make loud noises, I have 2 large dogs that'll start barking. So I'll just sit here and sigh and just feel from my heart center for everyone. So thank you again to all of those who are on the front line. So we'll begin tonight's class with, this is meditation, movement, and melt. We'll begin with a meditation. So wherever you are, if you are on a mat or in your living room on the carpet, you just need, for tonight's class, you'll just need a pillow and a blanket. And if it's mat or bed or a couch or whatever, that works just as well. If you have a yoga mat, great. So we'll just find that comfortable seat. Just wherever it is for you tonight, and however that looks, just finding a seat. If you need to wiggle or shake or just do any kind of extra adjusting here to kind of settle into your seat. You are more than welcome to do that. Now, in meditation, for a while I thought meditation was you have to sit still, you have to have your fingers in mudra, your spine straight. And then someone told me it's okay to move in meditation. It's like, what? You can move? So if you need to move when you're in meditation, go ahead and move. If you need to adjust or if you have an itch, just go ahead and move. It's okay. That blew me away. So if you need to move throughout meditation, go ahead. Bringing your hands onto your laps, palms facing down if you feel you need to be grounded this evening, palms facing up if you wish to receive energy. Taking this time to notice what body parts are touching the earth. And the earth can be your chair or your couch or your mat or your carpet. So just noticing what body parts are touching the earth. Bringing your awareness to that connection. Now it could be multiple body parts, like your foot, your ankle, your sits bones, your knees, or your spine, the back of your head if you're lying down. Just noticing that connection to the earth from your body. And once you have your awareness of that connection, allow the rest of your body to begin to feel connected. Feeling your body sinking into the earth. Through that earth-body connection. Feeling the weight of your shoulders sinking down. The weight of your legs. The weight of your head. The weight of all your internal organs. The weight of all your muscles in your bones. It's being held by the earth. Allowing your body to sink and melt. Next inhale, feel your shoulders rising up to your ears, and then your exhale, allowing them to sink even deeper into that connection into the earth. releasing the muscles around your jaw and your mouth. See if you can wipe all expression off your face. As you sink further into the earth, I invite you to see if there's a body part or a part that can be relaxed just a little bit more. Is there any tension and holding that you can just release and let go right now? Even if it's a nice deep inhale and sighing it out. Notice what release happens after that. Inhale. Begin to follow the natural flow of your breath as you inhale here and exhale. Just noticing the natural flow of your breath. You don't have to change anything. Your body is being held by the earth. Your body is sinking into relaxation. You have nowhere to be or nothing else to do. But just follow the natural flow of your breath. Noticing how the air comes into your body. And noticing how the air exits your body. Again, you don't have to change anything. Just be aware of your breath. On your next inhale, I invite you to lengthen your inhale. See if you can lengthen it a little bit more. And then when you exhale, see if you can lengthen the exhale. Filling up your abdomen and your lower ribs and your upper chest with air, and then allowing the breath to just fall out. Continue keeping to see if you can lengthen the inhale and exhale. Don't worry about your body, it's being held by the earth. Again, you have nothing else to do and nowhere else to be, but right here, right now. Lengthening your inhale and lengthening your exhale. And then on your next inhale, just allow your body to breathe itself. Again, following the own rhythm of your own breath. Noticing if there's any remaining tension and holding in your body. And begin to slowly rise your hands up off your laps, bringing your palms together, resting your thumbs at the heart. And we begin our movement with the sound of Om, allowing the sound, the sacred sound, fill your entire body, feeling the vibrations. Inhale. Opening your eyes, allowing the room to flood back in. Beautiful. So we're just going to begin to just move slowly, staying in tune to that meditation. And we'll begin to bringing your hands onto your laps. And we'll just begin by doing small circles with our hips. Closing your eyes or keeping them open, whatever you wish to do tonight. We're just going to rotate at the hips and go slow. Now throughout this practice, if there's anything that you're just loving and you just want to continue on doing, you are more than welcome to stay there and melt into it. You can always meet up with us later. And when you reach the top, go back the other way. Circling at the hips. Trying to keep both sits bones connected so you're not coming all the way and lifting up a sit bone. Both sit bones are still melting into the earth here. was going the other way. And next time you find yourself at center, bring your shoulders up to your ears and let them go with a hug. Do that 2 more times. Lifting your shoulders up to your ears. Hold, hold, and release with a hug. 1 more time. Lifting your shoulders to your ears. Lift, lift, and release. Bringing your left hand down to the mat. We're going to bring our right hand up and over, and we're going to C-curve over to the left, keeping both sits bones rooted into the mat. Just a nice, gentle C-curve here, opening up the right side. Just breathing here. Maybe wiggle your fingers. I don't know if you can see that. Wiggle your fingers. And coming back to center, bringing your right hand down to the mat. Left hand comes up and over this time, opening up to the left side. Breathing here. Coming back to center. Bringing your arms overhead, alongside your ears. I'm sorry you can't see my fingers, but just feeling that energy coming up through your sits bones and whatever's connected to the earth here. Just feeling that energy rising up and out through your fingertips. Your arms are alongside your ears. Maybe wiggle your fingertips. Rotate your palms to the front of your mat. And begin to twinkle your fingers down, all the way down to the mat as you fold over top of your legs here. Your forearms are on the mat, palms are down on the mat. Maybe take a nice deep breath and sigh it out. Swaying back and forth. You might feel a little bit of a stretch in your hips. Just go nice and slow. Then tenting your fingers towards your body as you rise up, bringing your arms back overhead. Left hand comes down to the mat, keeping your right hand up to the sky, and then bending over, extending out through those right fingertips, C-curve to the left. Again, opening up that right side. And bringing that right arm down to the mat, left hand comes up, C-curve over to the right, extending out through your left fingertips. Coming back to center, lifting your hands back overhead. This time, look up at your fingertips here. Wiggling them a little bit. Just a tiny little bit of a back bend, nothing too major. Now, if this doesn't feel comfortable for you, don't go there, it's okay. Then rotating your palms back to the front of the mat, begin to twinkle your fingers, twinklings like this. Twinkling your fingers all the way back down to the mat, folding at the hip crease over top of your legs. Taking a deep breath in and sighing it out. And then begin to sway like a branch again, back and forth. Noticing if there's a stretch in the hip here, hips up. Loose, let your neck nice and loose, maybe shake out your head a little bit. Tenting your fingers and begin to walk them back towards your body, rising up and coming back to center, resting your hands on your lap. Just noticing any sensation that's arising in your body just from that little bit of movement. If your mind starts pulling you out of this peace, just bring your attention back to the connection that you have with the earth through whatever body part that is, and your breath. I know sometimes those pesky to-do lists just pop back in there. You can push them out, say thank you for showing up, and then bring your attention back to your body and breath. On your next inhale, rise your arms back up overhead, feeling that energy rising up from the earth all the way through your fingertips. This time we're going to bring the right hand down to the left knee, and the left hand comes behind. Spine is nice and straight. You're extending out through the crown, and we're coming into a bit of a spine twist here, looking over that left shoulder. Breathing nice and deep into your abdomen. You're giving your internal organs a massage here. And like a dance, release that, swooping your arms back overhead. Taking a couple breaths here, feeling the energy pressing into the sits bones and extending out through your fingertips here. On your next exhale, bringing the left hand to the outside of the right knee and right arm behind. Spine is straight. Extending out through the crown, looking over that right shoulder. Now again, listening to your body, and if that's not in your range of motion tonight, you can just come out here a little bit, just a little tiny twist. That's okay too. Whatever you feel comfortable with doing tonight. And know that each side is different, and each night is different, and each moment is different. So things shift and change. And if you can get into this spine twist one day and can't the next, that's okay too. Just accept where you are right now. And breathe. Then releasing out of that nice and slowly, and coming back to center. Rising your hands up overhead. Feeling that connection again. Rotate your palms towards the front of the mat. Twinkle your fingers down in front. Hinging at the hips and folding over top of your legs again. Shaking out your neck here. planting your fingers, walking them towards your body, rising up and resting here for a couple breaths. Now, if you are sitting on a bolster or a blanket, blanket flat's okay. If you're sitting on a bolster like me, you can remove that. I have a little half moon pillow here. Just remove that. And begin to bring your legs out front. Feet are flat on the floor and knees are bent. Your hands, let's see if we'll turn this way so you can see. Your spine is straight. Bringing your hands behind you. Fingers facing away from your body. Your knees are bent, feet flat on the floor, and we're just going to windshield wipe our knees back and forth. So over to the right, back through center, over to the left, right. And we're just gonna do this for a few breaths here. Now if you find yourself scooching towards the front of your mat, you can always just adjust and come back. Beautiful. Stretching your legs out in front. Maybe do a little shaking of your legs. Doing any movement that you're called to do. Like I was just called to look up at the ceiling. This maybe isn't really a yoga pose. It just feels good right now. And that's what my body was called to do. So I'm just going to follow it. Beautiful. So we're just going to come, bringing your bottoms of your feet together this time. Connecting your sits bones to the earth. Bottoms of your feet together, your knees are just nice and relaxed out. Now if you need a little bit of support here, at the beginning I said bring a blanket or a pillow with you. It is always nice, or if you have a towel or something that works as well. You can always have support here. You can do that. So tuck a pillow under your knees or a rolled up towel. There we go. Your sits bones are connected to the earth. Your spine is straight, belly button towards the spine. Bringing your hands onto your ankles here. And we're going to begin to fold. If this is enough for you tonight, you're more than welcome to just hang out here. Now if you want to go a little bit a deeper stretch, holding onto your feet or your ankles, just begin to fold over top of your feet. And leading with your sternum, so lead with your heart. You're not collapsing into it. You're doing you're nice and tall, and you're leading from the heart, pressing into the sits bones and extending out through the sternum here. And you may feel a stretch into the hips. Breathing into those tight areas. Sighing or making any kind of noise is appropriate. I'm just going to breathe here, holding this pose. Now you may feel that you don't need the support in this. You can always remove the blankets and pillows too. Breathing here. pressing into your sits bones. On your next exhale, see if you can deepen this stretch a little bit more. Maybe do a wiggle if you need to. When you're doing slow and mindful movements like this, it's always interesting to investigate what it feels like to even just move a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left. Can you shift things, find an opening, and sink deeper? Now, if you wish to soak in this, you're more than welcome to. You can always meet up with us later. I know this one's a really nice and juicy pose. You can begin to rise up out of that, stretching your legs out in front, bringing your big toes together, pressing into your sits bone. Your spine is nice and straight, chin is parallel to the ground. Begin to rise your hands up overhead. On your next exhale, begin to fold over top of your legs, bend, folding at the hip crease, and go slow. Go really, really slow, noticing the first indication of your body where it tells you to stop. So my point today is right here. This is where my body's telling me to stop. I'm pressing into the sits bones, extending out through my fingertips here. Pressing into my feet, actually, engaging my legs. And at this first point, where my body says, whoa, let's not go any further. I'm going to listen to my body tonight. And then bring my arms on top of my legs. And just rest here. Wiggling if you need to, coming into the forward fold a little bit more with each exhale, if that's in your range of motion tonight. And we're just going to hang out here and breathe. Noticing if there's any areas of tension and holding that you can bring your breath to, and see if you do, if there's a little bit of an opening or a little bit more range of motion to sink deeper into this. On your next inhale, rise up. Bringing your feet flat onto the floor again, bending your knees. And we're going to go into that windshield wiper again. So rocking your knees over to the right and then over to the left. Over to the right. And just keep going back and forth. If you scooch too far up the top of your mat, come back a little bit. And when you feel complete with this, we're going to make our way into table. So coming onto your hands and knees. And go slow when we're making the transition from sitting to onto our hands and knees. Now if you had a blanket, you may want to put it under your knees just for that little added support. There we go. Moving the pillow out of the way, we're not going to need you quite yet. So when you're in table, making sure that your knees are directly below your hips. So you have that line coming up and that your wrists are directly below your shoulders. Almost forgot that body part for a minute. And so we're going to go just into a nice, slow, mindful flow here. Begin by pressing the mat away, rounding your spine and tucking your tailbone into cat. Dropping your belly button to the mat, extending out through the crown and sternum. Hips kind of point up to the ceiling. Then coming back into table. And we're going to bring our right ear around to our right hip in C curve. And then our left ear around to our left hip in C curve on the left. And you're going to make sure there's lots of room here. So you're like going over a gigantic beach ball here. So you're not collapsing into it. You're not swinging your hips out to bring your hips to your ear. This is if you're going over and around a beach ball. Back through center. And pressing the mat away. Rounding their spine, coming into cat. Dropping your belly button, coming into upper cat. Back into table, C curve over to the right. Remember that beach ball. C curve over to the left. Back to center, we're going to do that again. Pressing the mat, rounding the spine. Really press that mat away, feeling the opening in the back body between your shoulder blades. Just feels really nice, a nice stretch. And then dropping your tailbone, extending out through the crown and sternum, hips kind of pointing up to the ceiling. Back through center, C curve over to the right. Back through center, C curve over to the left. Back through center. One more time, rounding your spine, tucking your chin and your tailbone, pressing the mat away. Then dropping your belly button to the mat, extending out through the crown and sternum. Back through center, C curve over to the right. And C curve over to the left. Back to center. Now we're going to bring our big toes together. We're going to bring our knees to the inside outside of the mat. Fold back into child's pose. Extending your hands out in front, tenting your fingers if you want a deeper stretch. Breathing here. Now, if coming all the way down into child's pose is not in your range of motion, you can always bring that pillow, because we're going to hang out in child's pose for a little bit. You can always bring that pillow here and bring the earth up towards you. Now, this is an option, and kind of always adjust what works for you, seeing which side of your head is comfy. Here you can also use a block, wherever it is. I've said in previous classes, instead of a block, you can use a soup can. However, I wouldn't do it for this because it would kind of be uncomfortable. You can always rest your forehead on the block Or maybe a soup can would work, depends what you find comfortable. Breathing all the way down into your abdomen here, just seeing if you can release any tension maybe in your lower back or your hips. Just really taking this time for yourself to really be in tune to your body, to see what it needs. This is quite a powerful act of self-love, is giving yourself this time to come into practice, whether that be a restorative class or a hatha class or a yoga nidra. It's just really, really beautiful way to express self-love. Maybe begin to lengthen your inhale and exhale as you hang out here in child's pose. Then coming back out of that, coming slowly. However, if you wish to soak into that, you are more than welcome to. You can carry on with that as long as you need to. Removing the pillow or the block. Coming back into tabletop. Beautiful. So I'm going to do two postures here, and they're both the same, just one that's a little bit more modified. And whichever one you're feeling called to go into tonight, you are more than welcome to hang out there. We're going to hold this for quite a few breaths, so make sure that whichever one that you go into, you're going to be comfy. Now, if neither one of these work for you, you are more than welcome to go into that child's pose again, or corpse pose by lying on your back. Okay. So this one's called pigeon. And for those, I can demonstrate. Well, it's kind of what I'm doing anyway. So pressing your right foot up to the sky, and then bring your right knee all the way through in between your wrists here, sinking that back foot back. So I don't know if you can see underneath, this is what it looks like. So your right knee is in between your wrists. You can bring that right ankle out a little bit further, making sure that your hips are square to the earth here, so you're not over here on the right side or over here on the left. Pressing down through that back leg, so feeling that energy rising up here. You may feel a nice deep stretch into the right hip. Now for this one, this is pigeon. You can hang out here, or you can come down onto your forearms. Remember that block, or maybe that soup can? My block's over there. I'm not going to reach for it right now. You can come down onto your forearms, or you can come onto stacked fists. Grabbing that pillow if you want to get super cozy. You can come onto the pillow here. Whatever works for you in this pose, I invite you to do that. So this is pigeon. Now, if this is something that is not in your range of motion tonight, I'll show you the alternative, and that is figure 4. So coming down on your back. Now, if you're in pigeon, hang out there. Coming down onto your back. Feet are flat on the floor. Bending the right knee, bringing the right ankle over top of that left leg. So this is figure 4. Reaching through and grabbing behind the left thigh. Pressing the knee open here. Now this is the modification of pigeon, also figure 4. So whichever pose that you want to go into, just hanging out into it and breathing. If you want a deeper stretch, maybe bringing that left knee towards your chest a little bit more, feeling the stretch in this hip, in the right hip. You can press that right knee out to a little bit if you need to, just to deepen that stretch. Know that if you're called to come out, you have the freedom, you can come out at any time. Couple more breaths here. And releasing that nice and gently. For those who are in pigeon, the first way I showed you, release gently and come into child's pose. I'll join you. For those who were in figure 4, stretch your legs out in front. Nice big sigh out. And coming back up into table. Now this time we're going to go do the left side. So pressing the ceiling away with your left foot. And this time bringing your left knee in between your wrists. Coming all the way through. Sliding back that right leg. Coming into pigeon on the other side. And again, you can stay nice and tall here. Squaring your hips to the mat so you're not sinking to the right or to the left. Now if you wish to remain up here, you can, or you can come down onto your forearms. Making any adjustments that you need to. Noticing the stretch that's coming into your left hip this time. Stacking your fists, bringing your forehead onto stacked fists is another way. Now, if you were in figure 4 the other way, coming back, rolling onto your back, coming down onto your back, bringing your feet flat on the floor, this time bending the left leg up, bringing the left ankle to the top of the right knee. So there's your figure 4. Reaching through and grabbing a hold of the right, behind the right thigh. Bringing that right knee closer to your chest, pressing out that left knee if you wish. And we're just going to hang out here and breathe. Breathing in into any of those places that have tension and holding. On your next exhale, begin to release that nice and slowly. Now, if you were in pigeon the other way, make your way into child's pose. If you were in figure 4, stretch your legs out in front. Now whether you're in child's pose or in corpse pose, begin to come and sit up. Having your sits bones connected to the earth, close your eyes. Come into your body and noticing, just noticing sensation right now. Closing your eyes. Noticing maybe if there's an opening in your hips or your spine, or we're going to begin again to make our way down to our spines on our backs. Keeping your legs stretched out in front and coming down onto our backs. Bringing your arms out in T formation, bending your knees towards your chest. Now if you need to use your hands to kind of help that along, you're more than welcome to. Actually do that, yeah, just bring your knees to your chest. Hug them nice and close, give yourself a nice hug. Maybe rock back and forth. I have a blanket underneath and it's just the right height to give my lower back a little massage. Beautiful. Then stretching your arms open nice and wide in T formation, kind of like wings. Then begin to allow your knees, stacked knees, to come over onto your right side. Keeping both shoulder blades, if you can, connected to the earth. That's okay if your knees don't stack. Just breathing into any tight areas. So for example, for me tonight, I have some tightness in my lower back and in my hips. So I'm going to breathe deep down into those areas and see if anything shifts or moves or releases. Let's go. Both of my shoulders are still connected to the mat. And we're just going to breathe here. If you haven't realized, this is the melting part of the practice. Now begin by engaging your abdominals and coming back to center, bringing your knees to your chest. Maybe give yourself a little bit of a hug here. Opening your wings nice and wide, and then allow your knees to drop over to the left. This time, keeping your shoulder blades still connected to the mat. Noticing that if this side is any different than the last side, it may be. You may have a different area of tension and holding on this side. Bringing your breath down into that area. So for example, over here, I feel the tension and holding in my thighs, which is weird, but that's okay. That's where it is today. Breathing into those areas and just chilling out here. On your next inhale, begin to rise your knees back up, giving yourself a nice big hug here. Rocking back and forth, giving yourself a lower back massage. And then begin to stretch your legs out in front. Allow your toes to just stretch and your arms stretch above you. And if there's a pillow, you may want to tuck it under your head. That was kind of nice and convenient. Place pillow. We're going to make our way into our final Shavasana. Now, for this, I invite you to find the most comfortable position for you. For example, like this pillow is conveniently here. So I'm just going to put a pillow under my head. You can also put a pillow in, or a bolster, or a blanket, or a pillow rolled up under your legs, under your spine here, under your feet. You can also have your legs up on the wall too. So your sits bones are connected to the wall and your legs are straight up. That's usually a fan favorite. My restorative night, Wednesday night classes in the studio. We're just going to rest here. Taking this time to notice now what body parts are connected to the earth. Maybe your heels, your calves, your thighs, your spine, your shoulders, your hands. Just what body part is connected to the earth right now. Just bring your awareness there. Sinking into the earth, letting go, and relaxing even more. Now I invite you to bring awareness to the rise and fall of your chest. As you fill your lungs with air, and then exiting all that air out. Now if you wish to soak in the Shavasana, you're more than welcome to. For those who are maybe on your couch or on your bed, if you just want to chill out like this, you're more than welcome to. And for the rest of us, we're just going to slowly make our way up to a comfortable seated position. Now I invite you to go very slow, noticing sensation along the way, maybe chills or heat, tingling vibrations, tears or laughter. Moving slow and mindful. Feeling now what body parts are connected to the earth. It could still be the entire back body if you're remaining lying down. It could be your sits bones if you're sitting. Just noticing. Closing your eyes and just noticing the flow of your own breath. Begin to slowly rise your hands up, bringing your palms together. Resting your thumbs at your heart. Taking a moment again to bring in a sense of gratitude for those who are keeping us healthy and keeping us safe and fed. And the world turning. Taking a moment to bring in a sense of love for all our loved ones near and far through windows or Zoom or the computer or the phone or just the next room. And bringing all that love and gratitude back to self. For you have showed yourself the ultimate gift of love by practicing and relaxing and letting go. I'd like to end our practice this evening with a sacred sound of Om. So inhale. Healing and peace. Namaste. Japa. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everyone who joined me tonight and who has been joining us on this, all of us other yogis who are joining in on this crazy adventure. I hope everyone has a beautiful night and a beautiful sleep, and we will see you Saturday morning at 10 or next Wednesday night. So good night, everyone. Jai Bhagwan.